Hi everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Twist, This Week in Swing Things. I'm your host Paul, and we've got a great show for you today, so let's jump into it. This week's Jazz and Dance History was submitted by Jody Daynard from Boston. Jody, thanks so much for curating this information for me. I had a lot of fun putting it together. Let's take a look. Count Basie. Born William James Basie in Red Bank, New Jersey in 1904, was a pianist, bandleader, and driving force in the development of swing jazz. But the thing that you need to know about Basie's sound is that it arose from a collaboration of some of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. These were, for the most part, men who met and played together in Kansas City before Basie hit the big time in New York in 1937. Among the original Sidemen were drummer Joe Jones, Herschel Tex Evans on tenor sax, Lester Young also on tenor sax, arranger-composer Eddie Durham on electric guitar and trombone, vocalist Jimmy Rushing, and Buck Cat Eye Clayton on trumpet. When Basie's 9-piece band came to New York, talent scout John Hammond sought to grow them into a more commercial 13-piece orchestra. He took Basie to hear two musicians who would become indelibly linked to the Basie sound. The first was rhythm guitarist Freddie Green, who would go on to play with Basie for the next 50 years. Basie called him Mr. Hold It Together because rhythmically, that's what he did. The next was a singer named Billie Holiday, who remained less than a year, but during that brief time put her indelible stamp on the band.
Can't help but swing it, boy. Swing it, brother, swing. Don't stop to diddle-daddle. Stop this foolish prattle.
Billie and Basie rose to stardom together. She helped define their hard-swinging yet soulful sound, a quality that the Count Basie Orchestra retained over many decades. This clip from the documentary Born to Swing shows John Hammond, the influential scout who brought Basie to New York, and his original Sidemen in action. Keep an eye out for Jimmy Rushing on the dance floor.
It wasn't until January of 1936, and I tuned in one night in my car, and there was this fantastic little band, and I heard it, and I decided this was the greatest jazz I'd ever heard.
Called Comfortable in Any Idiom and Fearless by music writer Michael Steinman, Gordon Au draws upon a palette ranging from the traditional jazz of Louis Armstrong to contemporary modern jazz. In New York, Gordon leads the Grand Street Stompers, a traditional jazz band called a pillar of New York's hot jazz scene by the New York Times, and appears with the Grammy-winning Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, the Louis Armstrong Eternity Band at Birdland, Dandy Wellington, and others. He works around the globe as a soloist at the International Trumpet Guild and others, festival guest artist, swing musician, and clinician and educator for jazz at Lincoln Center and others. Gordon is a graduate of the Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz and Berklee College of Music. Swing dancers might recognize Gordon from seeing him in dance classes, or more likely from his work with Jonathan Stout's orchestra and Campus 5, Michael Gamble's Rhythm Serenaders, the Mint Julep Jazz Band, the Grand Street Stompers, Keenan McKenzie, Naomi and her Handsome Devils, Glenn Kreitzer, and others. He recently presented the music of Louis Armstrong and his All-Stars at Lindy Focus 2019. Gordon is also passionate about composing new music and new swing music, as heard on many of his albums, including the Quarantine EP series, Swing in Place, by the Grand Street Stompers. Those two EP volumes, along with the Armstrong Project album, are part of Gordon's efforts to stay sane and also support his fellow musicians during the pandemic. He is also producing videos for the Sacramento Jazz Education Fund, teaching virtually and partly in person, and experimenting with 3D photography. Now enjoy some solos from Gordon Au. And dadgummit, if you are a dancer and you don't own Gordon Au's tribute to Louis Armstrong live at Lindy Focus yet, go buy it. Every song will melt you into a puddle. Enjoy. This week's dance friend is Mel Khaw, and it's from Kimberly, Kimby Mears in North Carolina. Hi Mel, hope you're okay, I'm shouting you out, but you deserve it. Miss you and all of our dancing shenanigans. You and your dancing journey and love for critters are a consistent source of inspiration, and I'm so glad to have met you through dancing, as I definitely wouldn't be where I am without you. You're the center and source of joy and delight to all those around you, and I hope we can all indulge in dance shenanigans again soon.
I'm Laura, and today we're going to cover this fantastic vintage move called footlights.
Okay, y'all, for today's Creators Corner, we are featuring Laura Glaess and her amazing YouTube channel. This week she uploaded an awesome video on footlights, and you should head over and check it out. Laura's videos are so well put together, and the extra effort she puts into producing them really elevates the viewing and learning experience. On top of all of that, the content is 100% free and available on YouTube. It's been a fantastic resource for dancers over this last year. She's also got a Patreon to support the channel with tiers as low as $2 per month. As always, links to her channel and Patreon page are in the description below. Check it out. First up, with current events, we've got a submission by Jeremy Lizardo. The Shag Sharks, a new band out of Valencia, Spain, are reaching out to get their new album, Coral Riff, funded. The funding is for the mixing and mastering, design, and production of 250 physical copies. Now, speaking of bands, for the rest of the day today, Friday, anything purchased on Bandcamp will go straight to the artists. The first Friday of every month, Bandcamp continues to waive their revenue share as a way to support artists in the pandemic. But Paul, I don't know what to buy. And don't worry, I've got you covered. Aside from the Gordon Au albums already mentioned on this episode, Enric Piedro and Jonathan Stout have a collab dropping today. Also, and here's an amazing resource, our friend Daphne Harrell has put together an extensive spreadsheet of bands within our community that we can support. Check it out. It's amazing. Slide and Swing, dance shoe designers and manufacturers out of Spain, are unfortunately having to liquidate their inventory. Because of this, you can pick up some shoes for some amazing prices. US people, it might be beneficial to buy with a friend or two to try to bring shipping costs down. Here's the ones that I picked up. If you're looking for something to do tonight, Laura and I will be streaming some dancing over on the Twitch channel, starting around 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. www.twitch.tv/Pauldances. Hello? Hello? Hello out there? Anyone stick around to the end? Well, if you did, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you stuck around to the end. Really appreciate you supporting. Of course, if you like what I'm doing here, you can support on Patreon. Links below. All of the show notes are also in the link below if you'd like to check those out. Otherwise, we'll see you over on Twitch. You'll see you on the Global Online Social. Check out the current events. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Thursday night or possibly Friday morning. Make good choices.